Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is the Green-Eyed Lady for obvious reasons. And if it's your first time here, what I like to talk about on this channel is anxiety healing, specifically health anxiety healing without the use of medications, based on my personal experiences, and also just inner healing through journaling prompts and just really in-depth questions that you need to ask yourself, so you can get to know yourself a little better, and at the same time, explore why you're being triggered, what situations put you in that panic attack state, things of that nature. So if this is something that may be of interest to you, please consider liking and subscribing and ringing the little bell and all that wonderful stuff. So with that being said, let's get right into the video. So in my last video, if you haven't taken a look at it, you can go back and take a look at it. It does explain what I want to do with this channel and the direction that it is heading into. I did say that I would share my first panic attack story. Now I'm going to make it quick. I don't want to make this video super long, because I do want to share some journal prompts with you to get you started on your inner healing journey. So now I guess is a good time for me to go ahead and put the disclaimer here. There you go. Just read it real quick. So my first panic attack happened in 2008. I was either 28 or 29, depending on the month. I'm going to be 44 this year, so I am 43 now. So yeah, it's been a long time since my first panic attack, and I've had so many, so many that I still remember it, but it's not obviously going to be as specific in my brain as it was 16 whatever years ago when this happened. And at the time, I was with my boyfriend, who is now my husband. And we're just, typical afternoon. Weather was great. I'm looking out the window as one who's a passenger does. And just out of nowhere, when I tell you this came out of nowhere, this completely came out of nowhere. I felt an electric shock go up my spine, and my body felt super cold. Like it was an instant freeze. I can't even describe it, because that was the only time that electric shock going up my spine and me feeling that cold, that was the first and last time that part of it had ever happened to me. So I had felt that, and then all of a sudden, you go like this, and I remember heart rate through the freaking roof. Like my heart started beating so fast. My chest started to hurt really bad. I started hyperventilating, just breathing in and out deeply. Like, I mean, it was scary. I'm not going to sit here and reenact it. It was pretty scary stuff for me. I started to get dizzy. I started to hear, how you hear the ringing in your ears, like when you're about to pass out? Started hearing that. I looked over at my husband, boyfriend at the time, and I said, call my mom. Like, we need to go to the ER. I don't know what's wrong. Call my mom. Tell her to meet us there. So as he's on the phone with my mom, just trying to tell her, like, hey, we're on our way to the ER. I don't know what's happening to this one. I can just imagine. I remember it getting worse to the point where now the ears are ringing, and I started to feel super dizzy, like I was about to pass out. And in that moment, I remember looking at him and just saying, I'm dying. I don't know what's wrong, but I feel like I'm dying. Tell my mom I love her. Tell my kids I love them. I love you. If I pass out, this is what it is. And it does sound dramatic, to people who've never had this experience before. To them, it really sounds like you're just overreacting or you're being super dramatic. And you're not. I can tell you that you're not. And I know that you're not, because if you've had this experience, you know exactly how scary it can be. Up until that point, I'd never had anything like this ever happen to me. I had never really been dizzy unless I was like drunk. I never had friggin' for sure never had some electrical shock go up my spine and make me feel super cold for a split second. I never experienced anything like that before. When we arrived at the ER, and one thing that looking back on it now, and again, through these journal questions or these prompts that you ask yourself, I feel like this particular thing someone said was the reason why my whatever happened to me led into severe health anxiety. As we pulled up, my husband, boyfriend at the time, went and got a wheelchair. And as I sat on the wheelchair so that he can wheel me into the ER, because at this point I'm clutching at my chest, like I'm hyperventilating. I mean, I feel like I can't breathe. You know, your throat is tight, the whole nine. I remember there was a lady, I can tell you that I know what she wore, what she looked like. And this was years and years ago. She saw me and she said, you know, she gasped, "Oh my God, she's having a heart attack." That I think had stuck with me. I'm not going to say has, because I don't have that anymore, that fear anymore. But that stuck with me for literally over 10 years. I honestly didn't know what was happening, but to hear her say that, all of a sudden I thought, and my brain believed, "Ma'am, you're having a heart attack." Okay. You know, they wheel you in, they do that quick EKG that they do. Guy comes out and he was like, you know, "Right now, you're okay. Like, you didn't just suffer a heart attack, you're okay." So whatever, you know, fine. Now you go to the waiting room so a doctor can properly see you. And that is where my health anxiety started. You know, you go in, you talk to the doctor tells you, "Ma'am, you're fine. Your blood work is fine. You know, for crying out loud, you're not even 30 yet. Like, you're fine." Right? So you're fine. And everybody's telling you you're fine, but your brain is now saying, "I know what I felt. I know my own body. Something's wrong, something's wrong, something's wrong." And that is what leads to health anxiety, because now you are on super freaking high alert. You're scared that this is going to happen to you again. And the crazy thing is that it does. So yeah, that is my first panic attack in a nutshell. So feel free to share your experience, regardless of how long ago it was. I think none of us really forget our first panic attack or anxiety attack, however you like to refer to it as. You know, leave it in the comments below if you're willing to share. Again, because it might help somebody else, because there's so many millions of people suffering from this. And I know that it's very difficult sometimes to be able to talk to someone about it. That's an episode for another day when it comes to telling people how they don't believe you, how they say you're, you know, you're seeking attention, all these bullshit ass things. So yeah, feel free to share down there. I would love to read you guys' comments. 5 questions to get you started. You can work on them this week. You can work on them today or just when you have some spare time. These questions are not specific to anxiety. These are, you know, just for healing, just so that you can start to get to know yourself, okay? In the next video, we will go into, or I will go into, more questions that do deal with anxiety. But I think that if you, part of you healing your anxiety, you have to heal who you are inside, okay? You have to find out who you are, like I said, and what your triggers are, and, you know, why you do things you do, and etc. So I am going to look over at the computer, obviously. So here's the first question. So question number 1. What is one childhood memory that still affects you to this day? So many things start with your childhood, right? Your parents or your siblings, experiences you might have had in school, you know, the way you were brought up. there's a lot of things that start in childhood. So I feel like that is a really good question to get you started. So question number 2. What are some of my beliefs that may be holding me back? What are some beliefs that may be holding you back? This big category for a lot of people. If you have self-limiting beliefs where you feel you're not worthy, you're not good enough, that can really affect you, okay? Question number 3. What is one secret feeling I haven't admitted to myself, and how can I release it? That one's actually pretty deep, but let's throw a deep one in there, right? So have I ever been to therapy? If so, what did I learn? Was there anything that you learned from therapy at all if you've been to therapy? And yeah, moving on. Question number 4. Or is that number 5? What is one thing I can do to work towards inner healing? That's a very important question. It's like I said, you have to be super honest with yourself when you're answering these questions. Don't lie to yourself. You don't have to share this with anybody else unless you really want to. Again, you don't have to share these, or you can, if you want to, share them with someone else. And I can't remember if I just did 4 or 5, so we'll do one more. And it is, what is one toxic relationship in my life, and how have I contributed towards it? That's a good one. We all have that one toxic relationship, right? Be it, again, a spouse, a spouse, a partner, a friend, co-workers, a sibling, your parents, grandparents, whoever it may be. I think we've all gone through a toxic relationship at some point in our lives. But yeah, just go ahead and work on those. Be as honest as you possibly can with yourself. And I hope that these do help you. These are just to start you off. But I do hope that these help you maybe try and discover who you really are. Some of these questions you'll be able to answer, immediately. Some of these questions, it's going to take you a while. I'm not going to lie. Some of these questions took me a while, took me days. I would have to revisit the question again so that I knew how I wanted to answer not how I wanted to answer these, but I felt, okay, I can answer this now. I have my answer. So yeah, I hope these do help you out. Anywho, just want to thank you guys for spending some time with me. I hope that my story helps you a little bit in realizing again that you're not the only one who's gone through it, has been through it, or will ever go through it. I just want you to know that there is a way for you to heal. Again, my way is without medication, but if your way is with medication, it's still healing, and you will heal from this, and you can recover from this. I am living proof of that. So yeah, as always, please make sure to like, subscribe, the little bell, all that wonderful stuff, so you know when I upload the next video with the next fun little questions we got going on here. And we get a little more in depth into anxiety and what it is that I did for myself to be able to heal from as bad as it was for me, because it was pretty bad. So I wish you guys have a beautiful, beautiful day as always. And yeah, that's it for today. Have a great day, everyone.